Hi, I'm Paul with RackOutfitters.com, here to give you an install overview of the Yakima BaseLine CoreBar roof rack system. On the vehicle behind me, we've already installed the front bar. Here on the bench in front of me, we have the bar and one of the towers pre-installed. So we're just going to focus in on the passenger side and do the full installation from start to finish on the passenger side, so you know all the details that's involved with the installation for that. So for starters, there's three components that make up the base roof rack system. The BaseLine towers, here's one of the towers, along with a specialty tool that's included, measuring tape, identification sticker, and the instructions. Next, you have a set of two sets of two of the base clips. Those are what make the tower fit vehicles specifically. And then, of course, you have the core bars, so a set of two core bars, along with the adapter to fit the tower and the end caps. So let's start with identifying the tower here and some of the features that you have. For starters, there's this outer cover which has the option to insert a lock core into it, one of Yakima's SKS lock cores for a strong theft deterrent. Otherwise, to remove it, you simply press in the outer edges and pivot it down, and that allows you to remove that cover from the front face of the tower. So you'll notice there's a fastener here, there's also a fastener here, and there's other fasteners. So there's several different fasteners to identify to help this tower fit vehicles perfectly. So although there's several different adjustments to make, when you're finished, you'll have the ultimate fit to the vehicle. So the first thing that we do when we do the installation is attach the adapter for the bar. So to do that, I'm gonna pull out this panel, and by doing that, it's gonna provide access to a gateway there to allow me to attach the adapter. So let me take that adapter. Next thing we wanna do is get the tower in the proper orientation to match the bar. So here is backwards, this is correct, and then also you'll notice the shape of the bar has that aerodynamic airfoil shape, and so does the bracket, and we want to make sure that those two correspond. So first step, we have this plastic spacer that we need to snap into place, and then you have your adapter that you set in place there. Now we'll use our tool and get that threaded into place. Now at this stage, we only want to do just about 3 turns to hold it on. So it'll still be loose, but that's going to allow us to slide this onto the end of the bar. Okay, so now that's in place. We also want to go ahead and identify this tower as being a rear tower for the rear of the vehicle. Okay, next we want all the adjustments that we are doing to this to attach it to the bar. All those adjustments are shown to us with the instructions that come with the base clip. So we've already done the front bar, so I'll set that aside. Let's go ahead and open up. So we have the 2 clips, and we also have a base pad. There's just one here because we've already installed the one for the driver's side earlier. Okay, and then we have the instructions. So these instructions are very specific to your vehicle. It may include a list of other vehicles. You want to identify your vehicle. In our case, we're doing a Subaru, and you have basically 2 main columns of information, the front bar adjustments and the rear bar adjustments. And so those are all the key adjustments that we're going to want to identify as we're doing the installation. Also, we want to pair that instruction sheet with the overall BaseLine tower instruction sheet so that we'll know what to do with those measurements. Okay, so for starters, what we want to do is flip the bar upside down, and what we want is to focus in on a measurement which is called the M3 measurement. That's the distance between the 2 towers, and that's designed by the engineers to match the width of the vehicle where they want it to rest on the vehicle. So to do that, we have the measuring tape here. Also, we have a helpful guide that's engraved into the bar. It's an arrow that's identifying dead center of the bar. So by using this arrow combined with the measurement, we can not only get the tower placed properly onto where it needs to be on the bar, but also we can center the bar on the vehicle. So the way we do that is we take our measurement, which for this vehicle is 36 1/4, divide that in 2, and so that'll be the distance from that arrow to where the tower begins. And so we have our measuring tape. Half of that distance is 18 1/8, so I'm going to put the measuring tape on 18 1/8, and then bring my measuring tape in place. So I'm kind of holding the measuring tape where it needs to be, and then I'll bring the tower to it. And then I'm going to just go ahead and tighten that just a little bit to snug it up, because there is another adjustment we're going to make to this fastener before we're finished. So I just want it snug so it doesn't easily slide away. Then I'm going to just double check my measurement, make sure it didn't move from that 18 1/8 measurement. And you can also double check yourself by taking an overall measurement, and of course that should be 36 1/4, which it is. So that corresponds with what they originally told us, 36 1/4. Now, so we're not finished yet. We do have 2 other key adjustments to make. So you have 2 fasteners here, and also the 3 hash marks for each. So this inside fastener is designed to give you the perfect pitch for the bar. Pitch is how the bar sits on the roof. So it can sit like that or like that, but the goal is to have it sit basically flat on the roof. And then toe is the other measurement, the other adjustment. That's this outer adjustment, and that too has 3 positions. And the toe is for how it will, let me loosen that up so you can see exactly what it does. So from the factory that comes a little bit tight. So here you can see this is the toe adjustment, and that's going to help it align with the angles on the roof where this is being rested. Okay, so to find out what those are, again, they are listed for the specific vehicle, but to know which ones to turn and to adjust, we're going to reference back to the instruction sheet. So the first one we'll do is the pitch. Pitch is ABC, whereas toe is 1, 2, 3. So ABC is what we're looking for. Also, you're using this to identify the direction of the bar. They have an arrow there, which is the same arrow that's on the bar. And then that way you can understand that A is facing in the same, is the furthest away from the arrow. It's at the furthest reach of the arrow. So that'll become more evident when you are doing the installation yourself. Okay, so that pitch adjustment, I'm going to just go and look at my vehicle that I'm doing, and that is C. So C would be the furthest away from the arrow. And now I'll go ahead and I'm just pushing it to that position. If I have to, I can loosen it slightly and then retighten it. Now when I tighten this, here's where this specialty tool comes into place. I'm turning it, and I'm going to keep turning it until there's 3 clicks. Okay, there's my 3 clicks. That is a factory torque setting. That way you know it's not over or under tightened. Okay, next what we want to do is our toe adjustment. So here we have toe is 1, 2, 3. So here I'm identifying it. It's number 3. So number 3 is the one that's furthest away from the arrow. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on number 3. So I have the 3 indicators there, and I'll tighten that down. Same thing. I'm going to go all the way until I get those 3 clicks. Okay, next we'll take our base pad. Base pads have a number that's molded into the rubber, and that should correspond to the number that is assigned for that position on the vehicle, for the rear position, which it does, number 5. So you'll see there's 2 metal posts, and that corresponds to the slot on the underside of the base. There's also a little cutaway there. That cutaway is to accommodate the door frame bracket, the base clip. And so I'll just set that in place, and it just has a positive snap into place. Okay, now we've done all the adjustments for the toe and pitch, so I can go ahead and close that panel. When I close that panel, you'll see how it prevents access to that fastener. It's another built-in security feature for this overall system. Okay, so I have that adjustment made. Next, I'll go ahead and put on the end cap. Got that. It's just a simple press fit into place. And then we're going to go ahead and take it over to the vehicle. To do that, I'm just going to go ahead and put this cover back on, just so it's there for me. I can take it back off easily enough when I get there. I got my measuring tape. I also have my tool, and I've got the 2 base clips with me. By the way, those base clips, they do have a number that's assigned to them, and they are stamped into a visible location, so you can easily identify what they are. And also, let me show how these are very strong steel clips, but they're very protective, and they provide very good grip by having this rubber, and that's the contact point to the vehicle. So it's going to grip and be very protective to the vehicle at that point. Okay, so I'm going to put those in my back pocket as well. Now I'm going to take this this guide to give me my final measurement, which is the 32 inches. That is the distance from the front bar to the rear bar. I think I can just remember that, so it's 32 inches. I'll go ahead and carry this over to the vehicle. Now, prior to any installation work on the vehicle, we've thoroughly cleaned the roof of the vehicle. So we don't want to set a roof rack system onto the vehicle if it's dirty. Okay, so next what we want to do is get our adjustment. By the way, the pitch and toe has already, of course, been done on this front bar. You can see how that helps it to align perfectly with the shape of the roof at that point. Also, the bar is facing into the wind, nice and flat. Carriers that are attached to the flatter bar will sit better. And the measurement has already been done. That's 7 inches, so it's 7 inches from the base pad to the window, and there's our 7 inches. Next, we have a 32-inch measurement, and that's from the front of this bar to the front of this bar, so 32 inches. I'll kind of get that other side aligned just manually. Also, I want to see how it's setting up there. I can see there's a ledge there, which corresponds to this ledge, and so I'll just kind of get it in place where it should be. And then I'll be making this 32-inch adjustment measurement a few times, up until the point where we have the base clips good and tight. That way we know it hasn't moved. So I've got this side. I want to go ahead and do the other side as well. So some of the steps I'm doing over here, I will show exactly what those steps are when I come back to the other side, so you can clearly see what's being done. Roof rack installation is a matter of keeping tension even on both sides of the vehicle. So there's walking back and forth from each side to ensure that both sides are tensioned equally. Okay, so I've just attached that temporarily, so I'll set that gently on the roof. Now, so what I did on the other side was I inserted the base clip into the tower. To do that, first I have to open up this hinge panel to give me access, and so you can clearly see here's where it goes. There's a slot right there. You easily just insert it. It'll lift up that fastener, and now it's fully engaged. And then I'm going to bring it back down. So you can clearly see this as well. There's a fastener here, and then this fastener here. This fastener will draw the clip upward, and this fastener will bring it down to the face of the door frame. So you can see how this works. So I'm tightening it, and as I tighten it, it draws it downward. Okay, so I'm going to start with it loose, and that way I can get that in position. So I've already done it on the opposite side. So again, I jostled this bar around a little bit, so let's double check our measurement. We need to have that at 32 inches. Okay, so we got that at our 32 inches. Now I'll go ahead and go through the process of tightening this adjustment. And I'm not going fully tight yet. I want to do a combination of both of them simultaneously, or a little bit on each at a time. Okay, so I have that. Basically at this point, the slack is removed and it's starting to tighten up. I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. I'm also going to double check my measurement just to make absolutely sure there's been no movement in the bar. We look very good. And okay, so at this stage I'm at the final steps of tightening the top fastener and very close to tightening the bottom fastener. And I'm almost at the stage where I'll get those clicks. So I got my 3 clicks there. So I got my 3 clicks there. I'm going to close the panel, put my cover on, and door shut. Over here I can also finish up. Get my final clicks. There's my 3, maybe 4 clicks. And then let's get those clicks. So if you notice my technique here where I'm turning but I'm also pushing this inward, that's important. Maybe not so much on this particular fastener, but there are some fasteners that are somewhat shallow. And so you want to make sure that you're not going to let that little tool come out of that fastener. Okay, so that's all fully tightened. We know it's at factory settings at this point. I'm going to close this panel and then put the outer cover back on, close the door, and now we've completed the installation of that foot. It's the same exact steps for all the other feet, towers I should say. So those are all the key detailed information about installation of the Yakima BaseLine CoreBar roof rack system. I'm Paul with Rack Outfitters. Thanks for watching.